Boundaries that don't break connection. Leading without guilt. You can all have a strategy in the world, but if you can't say no without guilt, or if you still flinch when someone is disappointed in you, you'll quietly bleed out your time, your confidence, and your peace. Boundaries aren't walls, they are architecture. They are how you teach the world and your nervous system what's safe, sacred, and sustainable. But for many female entrepreneurs, high achievers, especially founders, boundaries feel dangerous because for most of our lives, connection was safety and the boundary was framed as rejection. So when you finally start setting them up, your body reacts like you're betraying someone. Let's change that story today because boundaries don't end connection. They will make connection clean. So why do boundaries feel like loss? If you're raised to be a reliable one, a peacemaker or the helper, your nervous system learned early that harmony equals safety and that saying no threatens belonging. That's why even as an adult, you can logically know your limits. But when you try to enforce them, your body floods with guilt and heat, tension, racing thoughts. That's not weakness, that's conditioning. Your brain links boundaries with danger. It still thinks pleasing equals protection. So every time you set boundaries, your body is not sabotaging you, it's scanning for safety. Boundaries only stick when they're co-regulated. When you teach your body it's safe to protect your energy without losing love. Now, the nervous system logic of saying no. What is that? When you set a boundary, two systems activate. The attachment system that craves connection, fears rejection, and the autonomic system that regulates safety and threat. So saying no can feel like a survival risk, not just a social one. That's why you can rehearse the perfect message in your head, but still freeze when it's time to send it. You can't think through that, you must regulate your way through it. So, before you deliver a boundary, your first job is to anchor your body into safety. A slow exhale, shoulders drawn down, hand on heart, and tell yourself, connection doesn't die here. It just gets cleaner. Now, the 3 layers of healthy boundary. First, internal boundary within yourself. Before you communicate a limit externally, you need to locate it internally. So ask, what actually drains me? What am I doing out for obligation, not alignment? What emotion do I feel before I overgive guilt, fear, duty? Naming it turns it from the fog into fact. For example, I'm not tired of clients. I'm tired of saying yes when I need space. Internal clarity always precedes external respect. Now, the number 2 is energetic boundary, the invisible filter. Energetic boundaries aren't mystical. They are micro cues your body sends. When you're clear, congruent, your tone, pacing, and posture signal safety and certainty, people sense it. They stop testing you. When unsure, your nervous system leaks hesitation. Others pick that up too. It's not manipulation, your nervous system communication. So before a challenging conversation, pause, anchor your energy, breathe, and say to yourself, I can hold both care and clarity. That's alignment. It's what makes the next part land. Now, the number 3 is external boundary, the words. Boundaries don't need to be defensive or cold. They can sound like care. For example, to protect my focus, I'll keep calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or I'd love to help, but my plate is full, so we can revisit next month. Or say, that turnaround isn't possible without rushing quality. Here's what's realistic. Or I value this partnership too much to say yes when I mean maybe. Notice every one of these communication examples states self respect without rupture. That's the goal. Long time ago, when a past client told me, when my team asks for help, I drop everything, then I resent them. We trace the root. She grew up being praised for being the dependable one. Her nervous system equated helping with worth, so we reframed it. Leadership isn't constant availability, it's consistent boundary. She responded, happy to review that at 3. Finish your best draft first. Her team grew more confident. She stopped micromanaging. The business scaled because she stopped rescuing. Boundaries didn't create distance, they created competence. So here's a compassionate boundary script. When you need to set a limit but fear sounding cold, here are 3 line structures. First is connect. I value this. I want this to work. Clarify. Here's what I can offer or not and why. Care. This boundary helps me bring my best. So, for example, I would say, I love collaborating with you and I want to keep a high quality. My deep work blocks our mornings, so I can't do spontaneous calls. That boundary helps me show up fully when we do connect. That's adult to adult communication. It holds warmth, authority in the same breath. How do I stay regulated when someone reacts? When you set a boundary, expect resistance, not because people are bad, but because you're changing the system pattern. If they get used to the yes and now you're a no, this new data for them and your nervous system. So here's how to stay calm when that happens. Pause before you explain. Silence is power. Soften your tone, not the truth. Calm is contagious. Ground your body. That's so really important. Plant your feet. A long exhale, loosen your shoulders. Then repeat the limit once, then redirect. If that still doesn't work for me, here's what can. And then afterwards, shake it off literally. Let your body discharge the tension. You teach your system that disagreement does not equal is a danger. It's not a danger, if that's what I mean. Now, you get a boundary hangover sometimes. Post-boundary guilt, nausea, overthinking spirals are real. That's your body detoxing from the old approval patterns. You're not doing it wrong. You're stretching your capacity for safety while being self-honoring. Then the guilt hits and it says, this is what growth feels like in my body. Then do one regulated cue, your hand on your chest, a deep breath and a small smile. You're training your nervous system to recognize safety and self-trust. A common founder boundary traps and their rewires. I'll just do it myself. What's really happening is avoiding conflict and seeing control. So do a rewire like delegation is safety, not risk. Next common factor is I don't want to seem mean. But what's really happening here is childhood shame around assertiveness. So rewire. Clarity is kindness. Next, they'll leave if I say no. What's really happening is attachment anxiety. Rewire. Align. People stay when I'm honest. Next, I'll fix it later. What's really happening is there's a conflict avoidance here. So you rewire. Repair happens faster when I speak early. And the last one, it's easy to over deliver. What's really happening is there's a fear of rejection. So you rewire here and say, my energy is infinite and it's an asset. So every reframe is a nervous system upgrade. So I'd like you to practice this through my 5-day nervous system reset course. Create a boundary win to break that anxiety burnout loop. Each day, you record one moment you said no or paused before saying yes. What emotion surfaced? Guilt or fear or relief? How long did it take to regulate? And what happened after? Spoiler, the world didn't end. You built proof that boundaries don't break the connection. They'll refine it. So say with me, boundaries aren't rejection, they're self-respect. I can love people and still choose myself. Every time I set a limit calmly, I teach my nervous system that connection is safe because boundaries don't block intimacy, they make it sustainable. They don't end relationships, they evolve them. They don't make you hard and strong or tough, they make you whole. If you're ready to start leading from a wholeness where clarity replaces guilt and presence, replaces people pleasing, come and join me in the free Reset and Rise Masterclass. If you want to install it in your team systems, client communications, calendar rhythms, step into the VIP. It's the inner CEO rewire. Because leadership isn't just what you build, it's what you're willing to protect with calm, care, and clean energy. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to watch the next video, The Myth of Motivation. Bye for now.